Hello.
Hello.
Welcome to another episode of Hello Hello the podcast with me, Jens, and Rambo.
Hi.
It is
Welcome,
episode
guys.
43.
Yeah, man. What a length, man. We are getting so close. It's crazy now. No, 43 episodes in. We've been doing this for 43 weeks now. If my math is correct.
44 actually, because we had 1 week off.
That's true. We did have a week off. But
So-
damn, that's a long time. We've been doing this for nearly a year, Jens. Nearly a year. I think our first episode was uploaded on like January 14th, January 11th. It was like
Okay.
right after my birthday at the start of the year from memory.
Okay, we're gonna
But
have
we've
to
done this
write
since the
that
start of this
down.
Yeah. I did have a look because I was going through all of like in the YouTube studio, like the back end or whatever. I was going through all the videos and double checking that they're all there because there was one issue with one of the playlists that I don't know. But yeah, you can see all the upload dates, and like the first episode I think was uploaded on like the 11th
Okay.
or something. It was, yeah. I can have a quick look actually. Whilst I'm doing that, then, Jens, how was your week? What have you been up to? Because I know that you made a relatively big announcement that you're taking a little step back from streaming just for a couple of weeks, just to sort of, reset
little
yourself and sort of,
holiday.
just to recalibrate, like,
Yeah.
which, a lot of, Jens, I'm sure we'll get into this a lot more, but it's kind of frowned upon, I guess, in the content creator community, of taking a break because of just how, like, sort of scary it is. But I guess I'll let you talk about that more because, it's obviously you're the one that's being impacted by it the most, but yeah, take us away.
Yeah, well, like, I guess it's not necessarily frowned upon because your community wants you to be healthy and happy and all that shit.
Yeah.
But the issue is when you take time off, because you're your own boss, you don't really have passive income unless you have sponsors if you're lucky. Then you just don't have secure income, and because when you take a big break, your subs drop, and then the climb to get back into that groove.
It's hard. Yeah.
It takes like 2-3 months to get back to where you were. So it's scary to take time off. Which kind of sucks.
That's just for anyone too. That's not even for just like the small or medium content creators as well. Like I remember when Tim the Tatman, I think, took like a week or two break or something like that because I think he had his kid or something like that. Which is it's a very fair reason to take a break. It's not just because like, I just wanted to go to Miami for the weekend or something. Like, he had a very valid reason. And he was quite open with like, I think about a couple of days in or something like that. It showed the contrast between like what he was just 3 or 4 days ago to what he had, sort of dropped to within that little break. And it was kind of crazy, Obviously, I guess, being at both ends of the spectrum, you're going to see a lot more of a fall off. Obviously, if you're having a constant, 25,000 subscribers every month, 7,000 subscribers is quite a big drop. Compared to someone in the middle that does relatively stay around maybe 500, 600 subs quite consistently, it's, so it affects everyone, like, which is where I think a lot of people do like feel the urge to not want to take a break because it can, like Jen said, be quite scary.
Yeah. I wish it was encouraged for streamers and content creators to take time off.
100%. Yeah. But again, like you said too, it's kind of hard in that industry because there is no guaranteed income, unless you do have sponsors, like you said. It's So I can understand why it isn't pushed and stuff like that, but because not every content creator can be sponsored. Like there's just not that many opportunities, unfortunately. So not everyone gets the chance to be able to take a break off and have passive income from sponsorships or other deals they might have and stuff like that. So
yeah, exactly.
It's But no, I'm glad you are taking a break because it is very needed, like just to sort of reset. And because, it sounds like on paper, I think we've talked about this before too. On paper, it sounds great. Like, oh, I would love to sit down and play video games all day, but it is pretty mentally draining, to sort of always be like switched on in front of the camera. Like you're always looking happy. You're always like, it is quite mentally draining.
Yeah, it is. And there's like more to it than that, just that. But anyways.
Yeah.
Not complaining. I'm enjoying my little break so far.
Yeah.
I haven't done a whole lot except for like house shit. Because that stuff has taken a step back for a while. So I'm finally like doing the stuff that I've been wanting to do. So that's been nice.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's good. Just sort of clean up and stuff like that, you know? Like
exactly.
Summer's coming up. It'd be nice to sort of throw some stuff out that you haven't used in a little while and just sort of clean and like declutter a little bit.
Yeah.
Like I can't wait. There is some exciting news. I don't really want to talk about it too much on this because it's still sort of 50-50, but that is one thing I'm very excited to do when I do move. Asterisk. Is to sort of declutter and get rid of some of the stuff that I just sort of like either don't have a need for or have just been hoarding for no real reason. Like it's So it'll be good to sort of get rid of mostly clothes. I feel like that's my biggest problem.
That's mine too.
It's mostly clothes.
I'm gonna do a run to get rid of my closet right now.
I have recently realized, probably because it was like lockdown things and stuff like that, but I recently realized that I do typically wear the same 6 or 7 t-shirts and sweaters and jeans, you know, everywhere I go. And
Me too.
I just sort of filter between them depending on like what day it is or like what's in the wash and stuff like that or what the event is. So it'd be good to like, sort of get rid of some of the t-shirts that I just never wear anymore, you know, like and t-shirts that I've grown out of, like that I still have in my cupboard. I've just grown out of them.
Absolutely.
So I'll either give them, I'll ask my brother like, hey, do you want these? If not, send them off to Vinny's or the Salvos or, you know, whoever might want them. It'll be it'll be good to get rid of some of that stuff. The shoes are staying though. All the shoes are staying.
They're necessary.
They're not going away. Yeah, that's it. They're a necessary evil. They're not going away.
But you just finished your last exam as well, so congratulations.
I did. Well, I don't know if it could be the last one because I feel like I might have to resit that unit again.
Let's not think that way just yet.
I don't want to dwell on it. You know.
Yeah, it is what it is. You know?
I was able to answer mostly everything, which does give me a little bit of saving grace. You know, there was one question that I didn't answer because I was just honestly dumbfounded on, but I was like, look, you know what? I'm not going to dwell on it. I'm just going to move on and come back to it if I have time.
Exactly.
But yeah, no, so hopefully I get the mark that I need for that unit to be able to pass it and, you know, never have to sit it again because I hate statistics with a passion. Absolute passion.
I think we all do.
Yeah. It is like it with most math subjects with me as when I first sit them, I'm like, bro, this is the dumbest unit ever. I hate math so much. But then I start understanding it and I'm like, you know what? Math ain't so bad.
Yeah.
Like
it's only when you understand it that it's like, okay, actually this isn't too bad. But when you don't, it's like, fuck math.
Like the first time I said a unit called discrete math, which is basically like pattern finding in math. It's like probabilities. It's a lot of like chances. It's a lot of calculus work and stuff. I've never sat a calculus unit in my life. I just did general math in high school. So I never had any, you know, sort of prerequisite information related. When I first sat it, I was like, bro, this is bonkers. Like, how do people do this every week, like day in, day out? And I did fail that unit the first time, unfortunately. But I went back and sat it again, and I really sort of knuckled down. I was like, I want this unit. And when I finally started understanding, I was like, you know what? This is actually kind of fun. Like figuring the dead ass. Like it's not just like I was doing it just to pass it. I was like, you know what? I actually enjoy solving this stuff because it was like, you know, it was enjoyable. I was finally getting it. And it was clicking. I was like, this is sick.
Actually, I totally understand that feeling. I remember at school, I was like, I actually quite liked math when I was understanding it all. I just like, this is so good. This feels really good.
Yeah, exactly. You know, it's a weird feeling. So if any kids out there are listening and you don't like a unit, just really knuckle down and try and get under it and you will enjoy it. I promise you it'll,
So any summer break plans?
Nothing crazy. It is a hot vax summer up here in Sydney. You know, we're all vaccinated so we can sort of do our thing. There's nothing too crazy we've planned other than just like, you know, the basic, let's go have dinner here. Let's go do this. Let's go do that. You know, Olive, one of our friends, did invite us down to Adelaide next year in March for a Daft Punk thing, which I'm still kind of on the fence about. I don't know if I'll head down. Oh, I think it was around the same time as the Fringe from memory.
Oh, okay. So maybe it's a Fringe.
I think it was a Fringe thing. I could be wrong. I did look it up very briefly. But yeah, I'm considering going down for that with Emma. So you might see us sometime next
That'd
year.
be nice.
Yeah, you know what? You might have to do the very first in-person Hello Hello podcast. Wow,
Oh, we
that'd be
could.
incredible. Yeah. But yeah. Other than that, nothing too crazy. You know, like I think I said when Sydney first opened up, me and Emma were pretty set on like keeping it low key and all that sort of stuff. Like we're not going to go too crazy and whatnot. I did actually. My local Coles did get pinged with a COVID case.
Ooh.
Quite scarily. Yeah, I went at like 9:30 at night just to get some like groceries for my exam, funnily enough, on Monday. And 9:30 at night, and I woke up on Monday morning, like, you know, in the mind frame to do my exam, and I checked my phone, and it's like, hey, heads up, you might have been a close contact. And I was like,
no.
I don't need this stress on exam day. You know,
Yeah.
so I sort of put it off in the back of my head, and I was like, no, I'm not going to think about it too much. But the good news is, I guess, well, good news-ish. The good news is, I think I was considered a casual contact, so I don't have to go and get tested or anything. I just have to sort of sit back and just like monitor symptoms and things like that.
Right.
I've been feeling fine. I haven't had anything like that.
Oh, good.
You know, I don't think as well. I don't think the person, whoever it might have been, if it was a confirmed case or not, was in the store at the same time that I was, because there were people that worked at like earlier in the morning at like 10 o'clock and stuff that also got the same ping from the COVID app. So what we're assuming is that the app has just pinged everyone that went to the store that day, just to be like, hey, letting you know this might have happened. Like, you know, just be aware, which is a good thing, you know. So yes, yeah. But that was my exciting week, Jens. You know, COVID scare.
Nice.
It's at the exam. Actually, we played our first football game too. Summer soccer's back, which is good. So we played that on Tuesday. I'm feeling quite sore from that too. I haven't run around like that in quite a while, so
yeah, right.
that was good to get out and do that. But yeah, so that's been my week. You know,
nice.
A very eventful one. I've been all over the place, man.
Yeah.
Jeez. But I think enough about AF Gens. Do you want to get into the news this week? Because unlike our last couple of weeks, we do have a little bit extra this week. It's quite a busy news week, which is good. So we'll jump straight in. Probably with one of our most anticipated news stories of the week. Rainbow Six, one of our favorite games that me and Jens frequent, probably more than we should. You know, that there are a lot of other games out there, but we always just keep going back to Siege. But Operation High Caliber has been announced, which is the new season that will be coming out within a couple of weeks towards the end of the year now. It feels weird that they're announcing another season already, because the current one feels like it's like
it just happened,
only just started, you know? Like, it's so weird. But yeah, we got a new one coming around the corner. They did announce today that the new defender, Thorn, her name is, hails from Ireland, and she does have a pretty decent Irish accent from the teaser.
Ooh.
Her gadget is like this sticky grenade that can be placed on walls, and I'm assuming other surfaces do. I don't think it's only going to be able to be thrown on walls. Like, I'm sure you can throw it in the corner on the floor, or, you know, up high on the roof or something like that. But it works similar to like Capcan's traps. So when an enemy or like a group of enemies get close to this explosive, it explodes and a ton of shrapnel flies everywhere. So typically, it's basically like a sticky grenade. You know, think of like that.
Interesting.
Yeah, but according to the leaked info, these explosives are going to be called Razor Bloom shells. And once one is triggered, it's going to turn red, and then after a couple of seconds, explode. And it's going to deal proximity-based damage to enemies. So I'm assuming the closer you are standing to this thing, the more damage it's going to do. I'm assuming as well, also, if you're a defender and you're standing near it, it will also impact you too. Very similar to like if you're standing next to Ella mines or Capcans when they do explode, they do also affect you too. So
smoke.
I'm assuming it'll do something like that. Exactly, yeah, like all those sorts of things. And quite excitingly too, I don't really see why people care so much about this, but she is going to have a new weapon, a new SMG too, that hasn't been in the game before. People are very particular about this. I've seen in all the other seasons that they've released for the last couple of times, they haven't given us a new weapon. They've sort of reused old ones that other operators have had before.
So Thunderbird's
stuff like that.
weapon wasn't new?
Thunderbird, no, it wasn't new. It was actually...
Alibi's gun?
No, it was... who was it? Finker's. It was Finker's gun. The Spear 308 is Finker's assault rifle, yeah. And so yeah, people were very pissed off that they didn't get any new weapons for whatever reason. I don't really understand the theory behind it, but yeah, people are very excited that she does get a new SMG by the looks of it. So we'll have to wait and see what that is. There is going to be more news in the coming days, so I guess you'll just have to wait and see and keep your eyes peeled. But we'll probably cover it in next week's episode too if you do happen to miss it. So make sure you subscribe for that bad boy. Are you excited, Jen? So have you watched any of the teasers and stuff like that?
I've only seen a teaser on Twitter. Okay. But I had it didn't tell you, it wasn't very clear what her device did.
It was just the little animated operation title thing, wasn't it? It just said high caliber or whatever.
No, it was her running, and then she stuck it, and then she went around the corner, gotcha. And then I just saw I guess shrapnel. I thought it was bullets.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't understand. So yeah, but I'm glad that makes a lot more sense. So yeah.
Some of this info that I pulled is from leaks, so it could be ever so slightly tweaked, slightly different. It could be some older things, but 9 times out of 10, the information that does leak from Siege is almost always true. It's they're pretty spot on most of the time, especially being so close to the announcements and stuff. Like this announcement, these leaks did only come out a couple of days ago, so it is right around the time the announcement's happening, so one can safely assume that they are relatively true. Yeah, I'm excited. She sounds pretty fun. Another sneaky little trapper. It'll be interesting to see exactly how she works and what damage output it does do.
That's what I'm interested about, the damage output.
Yeah. Because if it's anything like Capcan's now, you might only do 20 damage or something to an individual person, depending on how close you are. So yeah, it'll be very interesting. It'll be also interesting to see it parry up with, other defenders that do damage like this, you could put a smoke in the exact same area as or one of Thorn's razor blooms or whatever, and then when you hear it go off, you just hit the smoke and it deals double damage basically because you get the effects from the razor bloom shells and the smoke canister.
Or
you put in your Capcan trap, exactly, yeah. Oh damn, man, we're strategizing already.
Oh, okay, I just want to play Siege.
Yeah. Now the next one, Jens, I'm sure you're quite excited about, and Steven as well.
Very excited.
Yeah.
So tomorrow from recording, so the day that you're hearing
the day you're listening to this,
there would be a 15-minute Elden Ring gameplay reveal, which is very exciting because there has been no reveal about Elden Ring, in terms of
other than the trailer that came out at the start of the year, there's been silence.
So it's been on the hush hush for so long. So this is really exciting to see, for those Soulsborne fans. Really, I'm very excited for it. Are you gonna watch it?
Yeah, I'll give it a watch because, like I said, I think when we covered Elden Ring last, I'm trying to find what episode it would have been 2 episodes ago, I think. Yeah. It would have been in episode 41. It is. We did cover it, and I said look, I'm sort of on the fence about it because I do enjoy the idea of a Soulsborne game. I do enjoy the concept of it, but sometimes I just I can never really get into them and stuff like that. And so I was waiting for this closed network test, this beta that they announced. But it's going to be very similar format to the Resident Evil 8 demo that we sort of tried to get into, where you've got to be on a specific time and all that sort of stuff. So I feel like my best bet is to just watch these little gameplays and the streamers play it and stuff like that, just to get my fix, because I'm not going to wake up at 4 a.m. just to try and play the beta because I got to be in that specific window or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I feel like this is very smart too. I feel like this 15-minute gameplay is going to be what players are going to experience in this beta, in this little trial that they get. I'd be very surprised it was different. I feel like they're going to release this as a sort of a how-to of how to go about playing
what you can expect.
The beta, what you can expect kind of thing. But yeah, so I'm kind of excited for it, it's and I'm sure a lot of other people around the world are too, because Elden Ring is a very anticipated title.
Yeah,
very anticipated.
Probably the biggest title this year. Is it this year?
I would think
next year.
It's coming out right at the start of next year, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, should be fun.
So, yeah, it did get slightly delayed. Hang on, I can scroll up again and find it. because we did cover it was delayed. Yeah, it's now releasing February 25th, 2022.
Oh,
So it was
okay,
meant to be
gotcha.
coming out like on the 28th of January or something. So it did only get
That's
delayed
right.
by about
Yeah.
a month or so. Nothing too crazy, but it's yeah. So very exciting. Elden Ring gameplay coming out today, the day that you guys are listening to this podcast. So I'm not sure
Huh.
what time either. We're not sure what time. So you'll probably have to just wait and see. I'm assuming it is going to be based off US time zones. Maybe Japanese time zones. Maybe because Ben and
Oh
MK
yeah,
is a Japanese
Bandai.
company.
Yeah.
Um, but who knows? They yeah, they're all over the place. Do you want to talk about Riders Republic, Gens? Because I know you have been able to
I would
play a
love
little bit of
to. Have
this
you
as well.
played it
You actually
yet?
played this. I played the beta, but I
Okay, but you
haven't
haven't
picked
played it.
up I haven't picked up the full game yet, just because I'm sort of
Oh,
waiting
I
and seeing,
see.
like, if because it's like, I'm waiting to see if a bunch of friends get it and stuff, because it feels like a game that would be great to play with a ton of friends,
Yeah.
rather than just sort of playing against just random people over the internet.
Yeah.
I do know Queen, one of our friends, has. I do know you have it, but yeah, I think I'm waiting to see who else might be on the fence to get it and stuff like that. But yeah, you did play it though, so I want your first impressions.
Yeah, so I managed to play it, and I love it. I actually really love it. Um,
Yeah.
it is, think of Forza, but better in terms of
Whoa.
not better, because Forza you have to drive to places, and that's the
I
whole
mean,
idea of it. It's very
they're
open
very
world.
similar in they're similar in concept, in the sense that it's like, two action sports and stuff like that. One's
Yeah,
racing cars and high speed vehicles like in Forza, and another's doing like BMX and skiing, like another form of extreme sports, I guess you could
yeah.
say.
But
But
I,
I get
f-
what you're trying to say too, like in the sense that Forza, you have to drive from place to race to do things, and you do the similar sort of thing in Riders Republic too. Like
you
it's
do, but the
you can
transport
sort of float around, yeah.
between areas is so quick. Like you can
Yeah,
almost fast travel everywhere in Riders Republic. There's like a
yeah,
little bit of
yeah.
riding, but uh it's just great. I like how quick it is and how easy it is to get through to the races.
I guess too as well. Like you just think if you didn't want to fast travel, I feel
Mm,
like just in Riders Republic, it just would be more fun to travel from point A to point B, because you can do like all these insane stunts and tricks and stuff like that on the way. I feel like in Forza, after a while, you just sort of get a bit sick of driving from the top of the map to the bottom,
yeah,
right?
you have
Because
the
it's like
option.
you're just holding the right trigger down the whole
Yeah,
time. You just got to
exactly.
brake and turn at certain times. Like you can't do really any cool, insane stunts and stuff like that. So
Mm.
I can kind of see where you'd make that comparison as well.
Yeah, I just like how easy it is, and like you said, if you did
Hmm,
want to drive or ride there or fly there, you
exactly.
can.
You
But
got all the
if you
sick
wanted
tricks. Yeah, you
to,
got all the sick tricks. Yeah.
fast teleport, you can do that too. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's cool. There's like these things called mass races, which is happens. I think it's random, or if there's a countdown every day, I don't know.
Yeah.
But basically, it's 64-person race.
That's crazy.
And I think there are a little bit of collision. You can feel them bumping into you, but not enough for you to
Y-
crash.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
good. Um,
But I was gonna say, I did see a little video this morning, I think, on Twitter, of like
mm,
a mass race that someone did play in. And yeah, I feel like if there was like a proper collision turned on, it
everyone
just
would be
would be
fucked.
mayhem. Because like
Yeah.
especially at the start of the race, where everyone, like you think everyone
Yeah.
starts at the starting line and they all have to turn at the exact same time, like and they're not staggered like in
Mm-mm.
like Formula One races or any sort of like proper race like that, where you have it so that people are staggered so they have a bit of distance between them. No, they just bundle them all up together.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
it just would be mayhem at the start. As the race goes on, people do sort of taper out and spread out, naturally. But it's yeah. But it's cool that they do have slight contact on, because a lot of games just either decide to turn it completely off,
Mm,
or stagger the starting lineup so that people can have it turned on. But it's, yeah, that's kind of interesting. I like that. I like that.
yeah. I think definitely the selling point is 100% playing with friends. So you can race your friends
Yeah,
and all that
yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
Yeah, I
Be
would
interesting to
recommend.
see if they be interesting to see if they expand into different sports as like the game sort of progresses on. Like it'd be cool to see like rollerblading maybe, or something like that put
Oh,
in.
yeah, that'd be cool.
It'd be kind of interesting to see if they have the option to do that. I don't know how long they're planning to support Riders Republic for. It
Mm,
is sort of like the first game of its type. I guess you could say that there have been other similar games like SSX and all those sorts of ones, but they haven't been around for quite a while. So
yeah.
Riders Republic is sort of in a league of its own, I guess. It doesn't really have any direct competitors, I would say.
The
Like
only
it is
direct
kind of
competitor I can think of is GTA. The custom
yeah,
races
but
at GTA.
yeah.
But
Again,
they're
it's
a
sort of
faff to get
yeah.
into.
They are,
So.
and I feel like a lot of people are going to choose not to play GTA these days because they're just sick of it. Like you see GTA everywhere,
Right.
and so you get that GTA burnout.
Yeah.
But yeah, Riders Republic out now. If you guys want to test it out, you can give it a go. It is out now, so you know, check it out, I guess. Moving on though, Jens, Unpacking, one of the other games that we are very, very hotly anticipating and very hotly following,
Yes.
is finally out. Now I am going to preface this by saying I haven't had the chance to play it yet. A, I have been quite busy. B, my Xbox app does not want to launch. I do have to troubleshoot that, so it doesn't want to let me play it
Oh
through the Game
no.
Pass. So I am in the process of trying to figure all that out.
Yeah.
But having said that, I have been following this project for quite a while, probably since it was like first announced. I think it somehow appeared on my Twitter feed. And I was like, holy shit, this actually looks really cool. Yeah, I did get to meet some of the dev team at PAX and chat to them a little bit. They're very passionate about what they're doing, and they're very excited to get this game finally into the hands of people. And I have been sort of every time I jump on Twitter, I have just sort of had a smile on my face seeing the amount of praise that the developers are getting.
Yeah.
And they're it's great to see. I feel like the developers too are very, taken aback by it because I don't think they were expecting the game to sort of take off this well. Like I have seen people from all over the world playing this game, which has been incredible. So, like I said, it has been getting amazing reviews. The only downside I have seen people saying about this game is the fact that it is quite short. So people are experiencing typically around 3 to 4 hours. I did see one of the developers, one of the artists, I think, for the game, tweet that in their internal testing, they were typically getting around 3 to 4 hours worth of gameplay, from start to finish. Because people were toting that you could finish this game in 2 hours and stuff, and they're like, "Who are these people that are blitzing through this game in 2 hours?"
Clearly,
it
they're
feels
not
impossible.
doing the right thing.
Yeah, they're not sort of taking the game as how it's meant to be played. This game is very much a game where you sort of just meant to sit back and take it a bit easy, and it's not a speedrun game.
No.
Basically. But one of the things I did want to touch on was I noticed yesterday that it was in third position on the Steam global top sales list, which is absolutely outstanding for an indie game. Like it was up there. I forget what the other two games were. Let me try and find them real quick.
Especially if it is on Game Pass. That's great.
Yeah, it was crazy the amount of people that were up there. I think the other two games were Forza Horizon 5 pre-orders, and then Age of Empires 4 as well were the other two games, again first and second, and then Unpacking was third. And I was like, holy shit, that is incredible. Like to be up there with those sorts of games, like in that caliber, Forza Horizon 5 from Microsoft Studios, one of the biggest gaming companies in the world. Age of Empires also from Microsoft Studios. Age of Empires being itself like, a very sort of influential game in gaming as it is. Like that game's been around for decades now. Like I remember playing that game when I first got my access to a computer, it's so very proud of the people at Unpacking,
For Xbox.
Yeah. Well, funny you mentioned that, Jens. Yeah, funny. Man, you just on the segues today. Now you're a very big fan of Game Pass, Jens.
I am not sponsored.
very, very big fan of Game Pass. No, I am too a very big fan of Game Pass. I feel like it is a very good service. For what you pay, you get pretty good deals. But Microsoft and Xbox have announced that as of like I think a couple of days ago now, you can get 3 months worth of Game Pass for just $1. Just $1.
Which is
this is
incredible.
Kind of big news too. Yeah, this is kind of big news because previously it was only 1 month of Game Pass for $1. They have done a deal like this before in the past. I do remember. I think when it first launched, they were doing this. But it's kind of cool to see them bring it back. Now, having said that, this is only for new customers. So if you already own Game Pass or if you've owned it in the past and you've canceled subscription, you can't get it, unfortunately. So it's only mainly for new customers, but still kind of insane. But this news is pretty big because it does come like hot off the heels of Christmas being right around the corner. Like this 3 months will take you into Christmas and past Christmas. which is kind of huge because you feel like that's where they would want to maximize their total sales for games, rather than just getting $1 from
Yeah.
65 people. So I feel like that's kind of cool. And then also like, two giant games from Xbox are coming out just around the corner. So we got Forza Horizon 5 joining Game Pass on November 9th. And then you also have Halo Infinite joining on December 8th. So if you buy the Game Pass like at $1 today, you'll get both those games by the time your subscription expires, which is huge. That's incredible. This is also on top of like all the other giant titles that are, already in Game Pass, like, Back for Blood, the new Age of Empires that we just talked about. Plus a ton of other Unpacking. There's just so many, you could fill all of your holiday break with, with Game Pass. I did put in here, the holiday season seems to be locked in for a very Xbox Christmas, which I thought was a very fun little ad take. So, Microsoft, if you want that, I'll sell it to you. That's pretty cool. But yeah, like Jen said too, though, for $1, like, that's crazy, man. That's crazy.
Look, I've said it before. Xbox Game Pass is just great. Great value.
It is.
Really.
It is, yeah. Yeah. Especially if you're a big fan of games and you're sort of always like,
just like you dabbling.
Play a game, you're like, yeah, and you're like, oh, I don't know what to play next. But you got so many options on Game Pass. You could endless amount of hours, endless. Now moving on, Jens. I don't have as smart a segue for this as you did for that next one, for that previous one, sorry. But I feel like we've talked about Blizzard and Activision for the past like 4 or 5 weeks now. They just always happen to find their way into the news, be it for good reasons or bad reasons. More often than not, it's been for the negative side of things the past couple of times. But we do have another negative thing from Activision Blizzard, in the sense that Overwatch 2 and Diablo 4 are, and there's an asterisk next to this, indefinitely delayed.
Ouch.
Now I can say indefinitely, and I can hit you with that clickbait, mainly because they have never actually like given Overwatch 2 and Diablo 4 a release date to begin with. So technically speaking, they are indefinitely delayed, and I will clickbait it. But yeah, so this morning I think it was, Activision Blizzard did announce that they're delaying these 2 games. Mainly they said because of the new leadership changes that they've had within the company, like internally and stuff like that. So obviously we covered a little while ago, I think in one of the 30s episodes, that Jeff Kaplan had left the Overwatch team. It was a big change, as well as all the other shifts and changes they've done, obviously because of like the lawsuit and stuff like that that's also ongoing. But they did make a little statement that reads, it has become apparent that some of the Blizzard content planned for the next year will benefit from more development time to reach its full potential. The teams have made great progress and passed important milestones recently, and we expect these to be fantastic releases. There's obviously been a change in leadership. We looked at what we left in the final phase of production with fresh eyes, and we saw that allowing the teams more time would enable both great experiences at launch and also help ensure that everything will be in place to engage the communities for many years to come. So that, I feel like they're not bullshitting here. I do feel like that with all the leadership changes that have happened, either A, because, Kaplan left and a couple other, the Blizzard team left, and B, because of all of the other changes internally within Blizzard, that does make sense. I feel like they're not bullshitting just to cover their tracks again, like it's kind of a fair reason. So, but yeah. But one thing we also did discover this morning, Jens, do you want to talk about this one too? Is one of the new, like, heads of Blizzard, I guess, also left.
Yeah, after 3 months of working there.
Yeah.
Or working as head. I don't know. She did
in
work.
Her role, yeah.
Yeah, she did work within Blizzard. But then she got upgraded to be the I don't know, overseer.
We try to figure out what the title was, but I don't think
it be CEO.
Oh yeah, we didn't think it was. We don't think it was CEO, but like it was like,
I don't know,
like maybe the director or something like that of Funimation at Blizzard. But she was in a very important role. It was the first time that they had ever had like joint directors, I guess, of a division,
and the first female.
And the first female director of a division, albeit she was, joined with another person, but still. yeah, she left after 3 months. And Jens, you said you had a little statement from her, I think, earlier.
I don't have it written down, but from the top of my head, she had explained that.
Paraphrasing.
Yeah. She left not because she didn't have any hope for the company and that, on any negative terms. She left on the opposite of seeing that the company was so ambitious or something, and she felt like she wanted to find something outside inspired her to go outside her box or something. And I just think I don't buy it, but
no, me neither. I buy the Overwatch 2 and Diablo 4 being delayed because of like internal changes and things like that. That seems like a valid reason. The one that Jen's just read, although she was paraphrasing it, it seems to me like a very like conjured up response, a very specifically worded response that was probably made by a bunch of lawyers and things like that. So as to make it seem like there's like no negative connotation between why she wanted to leave the company. Which I don't know, it just seems a bit sus to me. Like the way it was worded and like, it, for all we know, it could be true. She might have been just so inspired by the vision at Blizzard. Again, I didn't buy it. But, she very well could have been very inspired that she was like, you know what, no, I want to go make my own studio and I want to, do things, my way or what have you. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it.
So yeah, that's the thing in Blizzard and Activision.
That's that's you know what I think, Jens. We haven't had Netflix news for quite a while because they have, or like Disney Plus news or any Marvel news and things like that.
Yeah.
Because they haven't really released anything that we've been continually watching week on and week off. But I feel like we have substituted it for Activision and Blizzard news.
Yeah.
It's we're on like week 4 now of continuous news from these guys.
Like that.
It's going. We're gonna start covering Activision Blizzard up until Hawkeye comes out, and then we're gonna swap over and we're gonna talk about Hawkeye.
Yay. And Eternals is out, so
well, yeah, we're actually what's today? Thursday. We're actually going tomorrow to watch it.
Oh, sick.
We're going to dinner. We're going to dinner and then we're going to the cinemas to watch it. So very excited for that. Yeah.
Very nice.
Very excited. But kind of on a segue, Netflix, Jens, has launched games.
Yeah.
Finally.
We have spoken about them doing this.
Spoken about this, yeah.
As they took the Oxenfree developers.
A couple of times, I think.
Yeah. But yeah, it's actually out. It's launched. Like, it is here with an asterisk.
Yes.
It is only on Android devices.
I feel like this is a double asterisk too, Jens, because as I was having lunch and I saw you write this in, I did check my phone to see if there was an update to my Netflix app because I do have an Android phone. And there wasn't an update for my Netflix app. And I was like, maybe it auto-updated overnight. So I opened the app, and for the life of me, I could not see anywhere where there might be any games. So I don't know if it's just it's on very specific devices or if it's only on like a handful or like if it's in testing stages for Android. I'm not too sure. But the way that they've worded it, it makes it seem like they've launched it to every Android device, So it's, I don't know. And I still can't see it. I'm checking now again, and I can only see like the normal categories one would expect to find on the app, I can see TV show, movies. And then I hit the drop down list for a bunch of like all the other categories, and I can't see games or gaming anywhere. So yeah, it could also be like they could be rolling it out like geographically, so it could have been launched in North America first, and then Europe, and then it's slowly phasing its way across the globe and hitting Australia within the next couple of days or something like that. But it's
I don't know. Online says it's available. Like from AU
that's
websites.
What I mean. Like the way that they've worded it makes it seem like it should be launched everywhere, but it's I don't know.
Odd.
Yeah, very
odd.
Well,
it's out somewhere.
Somewhere someone can play these games.
But yeah,
it's got 5 games.
Yeah, exactly.
5 games. I'm gonna say. They seem very Netflix oriented.
I mean, the first 2, yeah.
Yeah, they seem very Netflix, right? But these 5 games are available through the service at the moment, which is Stranger Things 1984, which came out a couple of years ago. Stranger Things 3, the game, which also came out roughly around the same time. A game called Shooting Hoops, Teeter Up, and Card Blast.
Nice.
I have no idea what any of the last 3 games even are.
They give
Card
me
Blast seems like a
mobile.
knockoff of yeah, it seems like a knockoff of like some mobile. Solitaire. Teeter Up
Yeah.
sounds like that Brick Blaster game that you'd have on like Blackberries or whatever,
Yeah,
where
yeah,
like you had
yeah.
the little scrolling thing and you had to shoot and then Shooting Hoops just sounds like the Facebook basketball game that they had
Yeah,
a little while
exactly.
ago, you know.
And like,
It's I don't know.
given that it is launching on phones
Mobile
first,
devices,
yeah. So I feel like
that's what I mean.
they're all gonna be very mobile-esque. But who knows? Maybe they will expand to a, I don't know, choose your own adventure, Bandersnatch type thing in the future.
That's what the Stranger Things games sort of are. They're very similar
Right.
to what are they, like the Walking Dead games that were done by Telltale and stuff.
Oh, okay,
Very
gotcha,
similar in the
gotcha.
sense that like you just sort of click and point to where you want to go, and like you make decisions based off some things and yada yada yada.
Yeah.
They're not very action heavy, because obviously, like Jen said, they are running off a phone, so like you're not gonna have too many joysticks, too many controls, too many stuff like that. They're gonna be very uh you know, story oriented. And I think that's also what we just like discussed when we covered this the second or third time, like the Netflix games. When they did, like you said before, acquire the Oxenfree developer, because Oxenfree itself was also a very story oriented game. There wasn't too much gameplay in it, other than click and point and click and
Yeah.
choosing sort of your own responses to things and stuff like that. And we did say we feel like if Netflix is going to devolve into games, they're going to be very much story oriented, very similar to like what Bandersnatch was, or very similar to like what Oxenfree was, and all that sort of stuff. And this does give us sort of, I guess, a first glimpse at what they are attempting to do, because the 2 Stranger Things games were very similar to that. So,
you reckon?
yeah, very interesting.
Do you reckon they'll make a Squid Game?
You know what? It wouldn't surprise me.
Because just
it
how
wouldn't surprise me
popular
at all.
that game, that show went.
Speaking of that, though, did you just in
Crab
sort of
game?
reference to that? Did you see? Yeah, a crab game that is on my Steam wishlist. I do think we should make a video on that. That does sound like a lot of fun. B, there is also currently a streamer on, I think, Twitch.
Yes.
Who has the name Squid Gaming. And she actually has been like turned down by a couple of either game developers or like production companies or like sponsorship deals and things like that because of her name.
And I think she's...
I guess the negative connotation with her name, like
and I think
crazy.
She's been getting a lot of messages on Instagram, like harassment.
Yeah, okay.
So
jeez,
unfortunate.
It's crazy. Like, and you'd think too, like she would have had this, she wouldn't have changed her name to this like when the TV show came out. Like she probably would have had this name since she first started on Twitch. Like I think I read that she was attempting to change it or something similar to that, but it's a little bit of an extra process. Exactly, yeah. Like especially considering, like I said, like she probably had this name for a good 5, 6, 7 years or what have you. Like probably longer. It's but how crazy, man! What a crazy turn of events. Like
I know.
Imagine that. Like it, yeah. You would think the opposite. You would think a lot of people would want to like either probably offer a lot of money to buy her name or like, buy the domain and stuff like that. Like you would think it would be the complete opposite, but I guess not, How strange. How strange. But yeah, I think that's it for this week, gents. Was there anything you wanted to add on before we do wrap up for the week?
No, except I hope everyone is doing well. Taking care of yourselves, getting some sun.
Yeah, that's it. Summer's coming up if you guys are in Australia, so be sure to get out there and head to the beach if you can. Should be good fun. I know I'm planning to go to the beach a fair bit this summer, I think.
Yeah, nice. Don't forget the sunscreen.
Yeah, no, definitely not. Nothing too crazy that I want to add on either. Except I think you guys can expect a bit more gameplay videos coming up over the next couple of weeks because, like I sort of mentioned before, I have finished uni for the semester, so I do have a bit more free time.
Yay.
That was one of the main reasons that we couldn't record a bunch of gameplay videos is because, we sort of do take a fair bit of time up on a Wednesday to record this podcast and then to edit it and schedule it and upload it and do all that other fun stuff. It does take me right to the end of a Wednesday typically. And then, to record again a couple of hours worth of gameplay, it takes a fair bit of time. So
get there.
Guys can expect some more gameplay, I would assume. I do think we have some plans for a couple of games that we wanted to play. Like the new Man of Medan game or whatever it is. The new Dark Pictures anthology game.
House of
I think
Ashes.
that's one of the little ones on the list. Yeah, House of Ashes, yeah. Like we just said, the crab game, that sounds kind of fun. There is a new Mario Party out, which I know Jen's wanted to play a Mario Party game for quite a while now. So it's, I don't know.
Pico Park.
Just keep your eyes. Oh, Pico Park, man. Yeah, that's it. We got a bunch. But yeah, I just want to say keep your eyes and ears peeled on the channel. Because there'll be some more fun stuff coming soon. But yeah, that's going to be us. That's going to be it for us this week, guys. Thank you as always for listening and watching. And we shall see you all next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.